Hare Krishna. I hope I'm audible. Just a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'm just okay. Now I can share screen. Okay, let's resume. Okay, I have Dr. Vidvan in my other screen. What is this? Let me just trace out a little bit lost with my now with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's translation. You can just give me a minute. Got it. Objection. Okay, so I'm going to resume from here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nano Ajamilasyapi Ayam Hi Shruta Sampanna Ityadi Yamaduta Vakyai Praktanam Karmitvam Avagamyate. Objection. We understand from 6th canto, 1st chapter, text 56, that Ajamil previously was focused on studying the Vedic scriptures and so on. This is a statement of the Yamadutas. And from this we understand that Ajamila previously had the nature of a karmi. Satyam, that is a fact. That was the case. Majrapanad brahmanyam api asya nashtameva. But his Brahmanical nature was destroyed because he was drinking wine. Kimata karmitvam. Then where is the question of him being a karmi? He was sinful. Anya vilashi, not a karmi. Now from this it is very clear that according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you need to currently have the guna and karma of a varna in order to be considered to be belonging to that varna. yaduchyate evam sarviplavit sarvadharma dasya patitu garhya karmana iti. Because later in text 45 of this chapter, it will be stated that he rejected all dharma, became a husband of this maidservant, prostitute, and by the influence of his abominable activities, he had fallen down. So at that very moment, okay, that's coming. Karma apagama kshaneva bhaktir guni bhavopi apagataha. As soon as karma went away from his life, then it is understood that minimized bhakti also went away. Bhakti in its minimized version also went away. Punascha swaputra ahvanadau Narayana Nāmāśraya-bhakti nibandhana kevala ananya eva bhakti asya abhutiti. And then again, when he chanted the holy name Narayana in order to call his son, then from that time, Ananya Bhakti or Kevala Bhakti was beginning to rise. So from this we understand that initially pure devotional service assumes the form of just a seed. So now notice here that in Ajamil's life, even Ananya Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, that was present in its seed form in Ajamil's life. Nanu karma jnana angatve bhaktim kurvita iti yadi vidhivakyam eva asti tarhi kudaha tesham nama paradhaha. Another objection. If one must execute bhakti as an element of karma, jnana, or some other scriptural process, and if there is a vidhi vakya, there is a prescription, scriptural prescription to that effect, then how is it that a karmi, jnani, and so on is considered to be engaged in nama parad? Uchyate. The answer is given. Bhaktiyaiva sarvepi dharmaha samyageva siddhyanti. Bhakti leshenapi mahapatakanyapi nashyanti. Ityadi. Ityadi parah. Shatashastra vakyeshvapi avishwasatam karma jnanayoreva shraddhalunam bhakti bahirmukhanam ashuddha kutila chittanam api anenaiva prakarena bhaktir bhavatu iti dayamayam eva veda shastram dharma jnana jyangatvena bhaktim vidhatte iti ataha nashastra vakyam upalambhaniyam iti. See, there are several hundreds of scriptural statements that it is only through bhakti that all the various dharmas in the Vedic scriptures, they become capable of providing their results. And by even a small tinge of bhakti, even the great degrading sinful reactions are destroyed. So because there are hundreds of statements like this, and despite such statements, For those who are averse to bhakti and who have faith in karma and jnana only, their minds are impure and they are not straightforward. Therefore, it is only through this process they can attain bhakti. The way the Shastra considers in this manner, in a very merciful manner, considers like this. So it presents bhakti as an element of Vedic dharma, Vedantic jnana, and so on. So therefore, the scriptural statements should not be criticized for this purpose. ततश्च वैध पशुहिंसा कृतो विधिबलात् स्वर्गप्राप्तावपि यथा तद्हिंसा दोष अनपगमः तथैव भक्ति गुणीभाव करण रूप अपराधवतः विधिबलात् कर्म फल प्राप्तौ अपि तद अपराध अनपगम एव ज्ञेय. So just as when one accepts Vedic authority and he engages in animal slaughter in accordance with karma counter, on the strength of such prescriptions, even if one goes to Swarga, still the defect caused due to committing violence on the animals, that does not go. Similarly, the offense of minimizing bhakti, even though there are scriptural injunctions to that effect, and even if one attains the success of karma, by extension we understand jnana also. Even if one attains these results, still there is an offense. This should be understood. This is the fact, even though originally bhakti is pure and beyond the three modes of material nature. On the other hand, atha ye nāmāparadhinaha vaishnavya dikshaya vaishnavameva gurum kritva bhakti devam kaivalyena pradhanyena va ashrayamana namakirtanadibhir bhagavantam bhajante तेषाम अभी वैष्णव शब्देन अभिधीयमानानां भक्तितारतम्येनैव अपराध क्षय तारतम्यं भक्तिर्मुख्य फल उदय तारतम्यं च भक्तिदेव्याः प्रसाद तारतम्येनैव. And then if those who commit namaparad, if they accept Vaishnava Diksha, they accept the Vaishnava as their Guru, and they accept Bhakti Devi. They take shelter of Bhakti Devi, either exclusively or predominantly, and they serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through Namakirtana and so on. Then these persons also can be referred to as Vaishnavas, and in accordance and to the degree to which they are engaged in bhakti, then there is they will experience destruction of the reactions to their offenses to that degree. That is also the degree to which they will experience the primary result of being engaged in bhakti. And certainly this is because of the degree to which Bhakti Devi is satisfied with them. Yataktam Bhagavata eva. And this is stated by the Supreme Lord himself in the 11th canto. Yatha yatha ma parimrujyate sau mat punya gatha shravanabhidhanai tatha tatha pashyati vastu sukshmam chakshur yathaivan jana samprayuktamiti. Just as when the eye when you apply an eye ointment, a specific eye ointment to the eye, then the eye becomes capable of perceiving fine objects. Similarly, the living entity, when he engages in Shravanam and Kirtanam of the Supreme Lord, which purifies the whole world, then that practitioner's heart becomes purified and he becomes capable of seeing the fine substances, referring to the Sachidananda forms of the Supreme Lord in his spiritual pastimes. Bhakti pareshana bhava virakti ityadi cha. And when one surrenders unto Lord Shri Hari, at the same time, they will attain bhakti, and incidentally, they will attain direct experience of the Supreme Lord, which is called Sambandha Jnana, and they will attain a renunciation for everything other than Krishna Bhakti. There are statements like this also. Śrīmad Svakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantastho Kyabhadrani Vidhunoti Sukrit Sattam. When one engages in the hearing and chanting of his holy names, these activities are supremely purified. And then Lord Shri Hari, who benefits these saints, he present in the hearts of these practitioners. He removes the inauspiciousness of the persons who are hearing his holy names. So there are statements like this also. Ityadi vachana vyajya manaha chaturdasha bhumika aroha cha kramainaiva tesham jyayaha. So because of statements like this, gradually, step by step, they attain the 14 stages of bhakti. 14 stages of bhakti. Okay, I got it. These are the 14 stages of bhakti. Satam kripa mahatseva shraddha gurupadashraya bhajaneshu spriha bhakti ranathapagamastata nishtha ruchirata sakti rati premasa darshanam harer māśraya-bhakti ityarthasyus Chaturdasha. There are 14 stages. This is a longer list than Srila Rupa Goswami's stages list from Shraddha to Prema, which contains 9 stages. This is much more detailed. First stage, one attains the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Sadhu Kripa or Satam Kripa, mercy of the Vaishnava saints. Then Mahatseva, service to great souls. Shraddha, faith and enthusiasm. Then Gurupadashraya, which is the same as Sadhu Sangha, shelter at the feet of a bona fide spiritual master. Then Bhajana Spriha or Bhajaneshu Spriha, a hankering to attain, a hankering to engage in the activities of Bhakti, Bhajana Kriya. Then Bhakti or Bhajana Kriya, activities of devotional service. Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati refers to this as bhajana itself. Then anartha-apagama or anartha nivritti, removal of unwanted activities, desires, and attitudes. Nishtha, steadiness. Ruchi, taste for devotional service. Asakti, attachment for the personality of Godhead. Ratihi or bhavaha, ecstatic love of Godhead. So the same as bhava bhakti. Then prema or prema bhakti, pure love of Godhead. Then darshana or Krishna darshan, direct perception of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then harer māśraya-bhakti, or Krishna Madhurya-anubhava, experience of the sweetness of Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. So, these persons, the idea is that corresponding to the degree to which they have attained purification of heart and so on, to that degree they progress through the 14 stages of devotional service, gradually, step by step. This should be understood. एतदर्थमेव तत्र तत्र श्रद्धावृत्त्यादि विधानम्. It is for this purpose that in those scriptural statements there are prescriptions for maintaining unbreakable faith, enthusiasm, shraddha, and so on. Atravi prakarane gunanuvada khalu sattva bhavana iti. In this section also, it is stated that those who have a desire to uproot all sinful reactions, for them, the best atonement is Hari Guna Kirtan, to glorify the auspicious transcendental qualities of Lord Hari. Because Sri Krishna alone is the Chitta Shodhaka. He is the one who purifies the heart of everyone. This statement also we find in this particular section. Ataha desham Shīna sarva aparādhatve satyeva bhagavantam praptanam na punarbhavaha. So from this, it is understood that when all of the reactions to their sinful activities have been destroyed, and then they attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then there is no more rebirth for it. Aparadhanam tu bhagavad prapto nasti vilambha. For those who do not engage in sinful, in offenses, there is no delay in their attainment of Bhagavan. Tesham hi Bhagavan nama grahanam vaikuntha arohanam cheti dveva bhumike yatha ajamiladinam. Because for them, there are only two stages. They chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord and they ascend to Vaikuntha. This is seen in Ajamila and others. So this is found in some instances. Yadukta. In this regard, there are scriptural statements. Nāmāśraya-bhaktānām aśubham vidyate kvachit janma mrityu jaravyadhi bhayam vāpyupajayate. For devotees of Lord Vasudeva, there is no inauspiciousness. Birth, death, old age, disease. They don't even have fear. Vadharmanishta shatajanna bhitva virinchitameti tatah paramhima avyakritam bhagavatotha vaishnavam padam yathaham vibhuda kalatyaye iti. This is Sri Rudra instructing the Prachetas. That person who for 100 lifetimes is fixed in his Swadharma, he attains the post of Virincha. He attains the post of Lord Brahma. After that, he attains Lord Shiva. And then those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, at the end of his life, he attains the post of a Vaishnava beyond all the universes in material existence. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur notes that this indicates that Lord Shiva is saying, "Hi, Mahadev," and the other devatas, all of us are servants of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, after our time of carrying out our official duties, then our subtle bodies are destroyed, and then we will also attain that Vaishnava post in Vishnu Loka, meaning the spiritual world. Niraparathanam api keshamchit prema vishesha si sadhayishunam bhagavad prapto kinchit vilambopi. For some persons who are engaged in devotion service without offenses, because they have a desire to attain a special type of love of Godhead, there is some delay in attaining the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yatha eva adi bharatasya janmatrayam abhut. As an example, we can say that Adi Bharata had 3 lifetimes. Kimcha saparathanam madhye yadi kechit bhajana abhyasa abhavadeva akshina prachina papa kriyamana papa nama paradhascha syuh tadapi tair dehatyaganantaram narakeshu nagantapi. And even amongst those who are engaged in offenses, because of lack of continuous practice in bhajana kriya, their sinful reactions from ancient times has not been destroyed, and they are also generating further sinful reactions and offenses to the holy names. Even for them, after they give up their body, they will not go to the various hells. That is stated in the scriptures. Swapurusham api vikshya pashahastam vadati yamah kila tasya karna mule parihara bhagavat katha samattan prabhuraham anyan granamna vaishnavanam. Yamaraj, with his noose in his hands, he sees his own messengers, the Yamadut, and tells them in their ears, just leave all those who have surrendered unto Lord Madhusudana. I am not a master of the Vaishnavas. Everybody else I am capable of taking others to help. In the next chapter also, Naishamvayo nacha vayam prabhavama danda ityapi yama vachanebhyaha. Neither us nor the force of time, no one is capable of punishing the devotees of Lord Vishnu. There are statements to this, and these are statements from Yamaraj. Rahasman yamuna bhrakta sadaram hi punah punah bhavadbhir vaishnava tyajya vishnu ched bhajate naraha iti padma maghamahatmiya devaduta vachanachya. In the Maghamahatmya section of Padma Purana, a messenger of the Deva has reported that the brother of Yamaraj, the brother of Yamuna, the brother of Yamuna is Yamaraj. He told us with respect again and again, if a man engages in devotional service to Lord Vishnu, then we should not deal with we should not deal with him because he's a Vaishnava. All these Vaishnavas should be set aside. So these are the Devadutas. They are messengers of Yamaraj. So from there, also, we understand that Vishnu Bhaktas do not go to heaven. That much can be understood. Kimcha, nahi ango pakrame dhvamso madharmaslodhavan vapi iti Bhagavad Vakya yat kinchit bhakti ankuras yapi anashvara swabhavat papadibhir dur atikramatvat amodhatvat cha avashyameva janishyamana patra pushpadyarthameva yesham janma bhavet natu nashyadavastha papa punya nibandhanam. Then there is a statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Uddhava, my dear Uddhava. Those who are engaged in Bhagavata Dharma, Bhakti Dharma, without any material desire, from the time they begin such practice, even if there is some non-performance of certain elements of bhakti, what they are engaging in is not at all destroyed even slightly. So from this statement is understood that whatever little bit of bhakti that is practiced, even as a seed, naturally, it cannot be destroyed. It is permanent. And it cannot be transgressed by sinful reactions and so on. And such devotional service is amogha, infallible. Certainly, at a later point in time, it will lead to leaves, flowers, and so on. So even though it begins as a seed, it is going to lead to the entire plant growing up as a tree and so on. And on the other hand, the temporary punya, papa, and so on, they will not come about. And they will not give rise to birth also. Ato yaduktam na karma bandhanam janma vaishnavanam cha vidyate. Therefore, there is this statement in the Padma Purana itself that Vaishnavas are not bound by karma, and they do not have birth due to their karma. Ato janmantare tesham prachina bhakti samskara uthaihi Nāmāśraya-bhakti papa aparadha kshaya ante bhakti devya prasadena bhagat prapti. Therefore, in a future lifetime, when they engage in Namakirtana and other activities due to their impressions of having engaged in bhakti in the past, when their sinful reactions and reactions to their offenses are destroyed by the mercy of Bhakti Devi, they will attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yaduktam, as it is stated in the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Navai Jano Jatu Kathanchana Vrajayan Mukunda Sevyan Yavadanga Samsritim Smaran Mukundang Upaguhanam Punar Vihatumichen Nar Rasagraho Janaha. Devotees, a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for any reason, even if he attains a lower species, he does not attain material existence like the karmi, because a person who has relished the rasas of bhakti, the tastes of bhakti, and who has embraced the lotus feet of Lord Hari, by remembering those tastes, he will not be able to hanker for giving up that. अत्र अन्यवतिति कर्मे जनादिवत् संस्कृति पुण्य पाप फल भोगमयीं न आप्नोति किंतु भगवद्दत्तां सुख दुःखं मयीं संस्कृतिं प्राप्नोति इत्यर्थः. Now here it is stated अन्यवत्. He does not attain material existence like the karmis and so on. Here material existence, it does not refer to material existence in the form of experience of the results of piety and impiety. See, the results of piety and impiety are material happiness and material unhappiness. So it is not this that he attains. On the other hand, he attains material happiness and material unhappiness directly given by the Supreme Personality of God. It is this kind of material experience that he attains. Material experience which is given by the Supreme Lord himself. Yaduttam Shrutya, as stated by the personified Vedas. Prabhu has added a remark here. তাহাদের মধ্যে যে পর্যন্ত নামাপরাধের ক্ষয় হয় না সেই পর্যন্ত অবিনষ্ট পাপ সকল অভুক্ত অবস্থায় বর্তমান থাকে। ভক্তির বৃদ্ধি ক্রমে ভক্তির অভ্যাস ফলে নামাপরাধ ক্ষয় হইলে তাহারা তৎক্ষণাৎ সমূলে অপক্ষয় হেতু ভগবানকে প্রাপ্ত হন। As long as there is no destruction of the reactions to the offenses to the holy name, to that extent, their sinful reactions are not destroyed and they remain in a state of non-experience. When one increases his bhakti, then as a result, as a consequence of the practice of bhakti, repeated practice of bhakti, when the offenses to the holy names are destroyed, then at that moment, all the sinful reactions along with their original causes are destroyed and they attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yaduttam Shrutya, as it is stated, as is stated by Shruti. Okay, that's actually here. Tvad-avagamen aveti bhavatutha shubha shubhayor guna vigunan vayyan. Directly the personified Vedas, they tell the Supreme Lord, one who realizes you, he does not experience material existence as such. Rather, he experiences the goodness and badness as coming out due to auspiciousness and inauspiciousness, directly directed by the Supreme Lord. Tesham yavan namaparada kshaya abhavaha tavad anashtani papani bhukta phalanyeva tishtanti bhakti vridhya tad abhyasena namaparada kshaye. Looks like this. Problem. It must be. Abhyas. Nāmāśraya sati sati eva samūla papakshat bhagavan prapnoti iti. I already read it out from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Ato bhakti vridhyartham eka dvi tri janmani vaishnava api prapnoti. And therefore, even for Vaishnavas, concerning their increase of bhakti, they may attain 1, 2, or 3 lifetimes, after which they will attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tesham drishyamanani vaishayika sukhani bhakti dharmotthani. And the material happiness, sensual happiness that we see in their lives, that is due to their engagement in bhakti dharma. Taduktam, as it is stated, dharmasya hyapavargyasya narthorthayopakalpate narthasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hispratah kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho yascheha karmabhihi iti. The result of performing dharma without material desires, when dharma itself is actually aimed at liberation by design, the result of that, it is not artha within dharma artha kama. And the unadulterated result of dharma, which is aimed at liberation, that is also not kama within dharma artha kama. Moreover, the result of kama, which is aiming at liberation, it is not sense gratification, which is the result of kama within dharma artha kama. That is because Vishaya Bhog, experience of sense enjoyment, that takes place only as long as one is alive in one's body. Therefore, when one engages in the activities of dharma, then he attains artha within dharma artha kama. But that is not the actual need of the living entity. His real requirement is tattva jigyasa. He should inquire about the absolute truth. Dukkhani tu khanichit swabhakta bhakti vardhana chaturena bhagavata langhana khatuka aushadha payanadibhihi क्षुधा वृद्धि प्रतिपादकेन भिषज इव दत्ताय. Just as a doctor, he provides a bitter medicine, makes the patient drink it. That is in order to increase hunger and so on. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very expert in increasing the bhakti of his devotees, he provides for distresses for them, material distresses. Yasya hamanu grihnami harishyeta dhanam shanai ita dukte. Because we notice statements such as this: that person to whom I have special mercy, that person to whom I have mercy, I gradually take away his wealth. Kani tu prabala nāmāparādha phalāni yataha dashasu nāmāparādheshu madhye arthavāda arthāntara kalpana shubhakarma samyam iti trayam sakshat vaishnavataya eva vyaghatakaha. Certain distresses are due to very strong offenses to the Holy. Amongst the 10 offenses, the offense of arthavada or arthantara kalpana. Arthavada means to consider the glories of the chanting of the holy name to be an exaggeration, or to give some mundane interpretation to the Hare Krishna mantra, or to consider the holy name to be one of the auspicious activities offered in the Vedas as karma kanda. These three offenses directly destroy the Vaishnava nature of that person who might have engaged in devotional service. In other words, his engagement in Shuddha Bhakti is destroyed. Tebhyaha Anyeshu tu Madhyadvam Ati Prabhalau Mahad Aparadhan Nama Bala Hetu Papa Pradhati Yata Khyatim Yatam Kathamu Sahate Tad Vikar Hamiti Amno Bala Jasihi Papa Buddhir Navidyate Tasya Yamahi Shuddhi Iti Vishesha Vibhishika Ukte Atastav Samuchita Dukha Bhoga Sahita Santaka Nama Kirtane Naiva Upasham Yatau Na Anyatha. Then there are two offenses amongst those 10 offenses, which are extremely strong. One is an offense to the great devotees of the Lord, and the other is to engage in sinful activities with the knowledge of the strength of the Holy Name. These two offenses have been specifically described in the Padma Purana itself. Regarding the first offense, it is stated that the very fame of the holy name comes about because of the great Vaishnavas. So how can the holy name tolerate any criticism of these devotees? And if one has a simple conception on the strength of the holy name, that means he has an idea that I can engage in simple activities on the strength of the holy name. For such a person, there is no purification by any amount of scriptural regulation. So because of these very terrible specific statements, then one should understand that these two offenses can, one can get rid of these two offenses and one can neutralize these two offenses only through an experience of an appropriate amount of distress, material distress, and by continuous chanting of the holy names of the Supreme Lord. There is no other way. Anye nama paratha tu santata nama kirtana dhivya shamyanti iti. Whereas the other offenses to the holy name, they can be neutralized through continuous engagement in chanting of the holy names and so on. Okay, I'll stop it. Let me just put a note. This is there. It's the language. Okay. Questions? Prabhu.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. The last bit where you're mentioning that the cure for every offense, is there? Do you have it somewhere documented or tabulated so you can send it to me, share it?
See, look at this commentary. This is where it is. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on 6.2.
I want to understand Sanskrit.
No, there are translations.
Is it? Okay.
There are translations.
Is it in
Bhanu
Foley?
translated. No, it's not. How do I get it? I was checking if there's a Kindle edition of his translation to the 6th canto. I could not trace it. Must be there, it's just that I didn't look carefully. But anyway, these points are, they appear in Madhurya Kadambini also.
They appear in Madhurya. Okay.
Chapter 3. Anyway, we are going to go through that. We are going
Okay,
to go
good.
through that particular chapter of Madhurya Kadambini because he goes into further detail, a little bit of further detail about the 10 offenses.
Excellent. Okay, we'll wait for that.
He's
Thank
just
you.
summarized it here. He's just brought out certain points he brought out.
Yeah, it's good to know how you mitigate each offenses.
Yeah, very serious matter. So he has worked it out in the Madhurya Kadambini in detail. We'll come across.
Okay. Thank you. I have one more question. And the early, the various stages of bhakti, starting from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, the table you showed me, showed to the class. If one, say, if one is in a certain stage and if he can't make it in this lifetime,
He'll
is something like
that. He'll resume from that.
resume from there. Okay.
Of course.
So you don't get, you can't really fast track it, I suppose. You have to go through the process.
See, there is, let me point out one thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he talks of two different processes. Let me use this. He refers to one process as Sadharana Pratha. Pratha means a process. The ordinary process. And then he talks about the extraordinary process. The ordinary pathway is the pathway by which we endeavor for sadhana siddhi and we attain it. And he says the pathway, nischaya phal jana, guaranteed success.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there is the other pathway, the extraordinary pathway, in which one can attain what we refer to as kripa siddhi.
Yeah.
In the first process, we engage in our cheshta, our endeavor, and corresponding to that, the Supreme Lord's kripa also comes. So here we only wait for, in the ordinary pathway, we engage in what we are supposed to do and we wait for Krishna's kripa, but not kripa siddhi. In the second pathway, this is for those who have attained kripa siddhi. Now there's no point in waiting for kripa siddhi and so on, because there's no, and he says there is no rule about it. There are so many rules in the ordinary pathway, but there are no rules about the extraordinary pathway. Whoever the Supreme Lord gives kripa siddhi gives, that's all. So we cannot, he may just drag a person through the various stages very fast. Okay, so that is the extraordinary pathway. And he says that since there are no rules about it, there's no point in discussing about it. So therefore, he presents the ordinary pathway. But the ordinary pathway is guaranteed success, that he says. So the ordinary pathway is the pathway that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is also teaching. Standard pathway. This is how we go.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
Thank you.
Because what is the point of being in a place like Gauranga Vrindavan, where everybody is intoxicated with exclusive selfless affection for Krishna, and we are not up to the point of full selfless affection for Krishna? What are we going to do there? We are just completely odd men out. Completely. So therefore, this pathway is provided by which we can cleanse ourselves and come to the point. Elsewhere, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also writes that even if it takes 3 lifetimes, so what? Because whatever you have gained, you're not going to lose it. So what is the problem with that? He asks that elsewhere.
It's easy for him to ask.
No, but I cannot have the cake and eat it too. It's a simple thing. That's why even here he says, even for the Vaishnavas, initiated Vaishnavas, Vishwanath Chakravarti is also clearly saying there is 1, 2, 3 lifetimes. Because, to whatever extent I want to enjoy in this world, to that extent I have to be in this world. to whatever extent I don't want anything other than to serve Krishna, then you don't even have to wait one lifetime. One lifetime itself is too long for such devotees. They want to attain the Supreme Lord faster, and they throw away everything else. Because they don't just have a desire to attain the highest perfection, they have a greed to attain the highest perfection. And greed naturally implies an extraordinary amount of renunciation and detachment. That is the nature of greed. In one booklet called Ragavartma Chantrika, Vishnu-Chakravarti explains that. It's natural. Greed is naturally that. Greed will just propel you towards that. Even in a material sphere, if a person is greedy for money, greedy for women, he just runs behind it. He's just obsessed. He forgets everything else in life and he runs. Like that, one who is greedy for Krishna, you'll just, he'll not be obsessed with desires for sense objects and all these things. Just run.
Thank you.
Okay. Leela Madhuri Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Wonderful.
Prabhu, the last few lines which you were reading about the chanting of the holy name, offenses which we are doing. When I know that I'm offending the Lord, when I'm chanting, so how do I get that enthusiasm again to chant? Because I know when I'm chanting, I'm offending. But with that guilty feeling, I also tend to lose interest to continue to chant. So how to overcome this?
Those who have unbreakable faith in Krishna consciousness do not have these kind of problems. If we have unbreakable faith in Krishna consciousness, that person is actually a Bhakti Adhikari. Vishnu-Chakravarti Thakur explains this in his commentary to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Those who have breakable faith in Bhakti, they are not even Kanishta Adhikaris, he says. The Kanishta Adhikari, his faith is unbreakable, though it is shakeable. You can shake it, but it cannot be broken. So once you have such unbreakable faith in the process of Krishna consciousness, in all aspects, Sambandha Vidaya Prayojana, then you are able to, you only think of progress, that's all. You don't think of anything else, nor do you think of not engaging in that process of bhakti. So when it comes to faith, when it comes to the desire to attain the Supreme Lord, all of this comes due to association. When we submissively, non-duplicitously, non-diplomatically associate with those who have that kind of faith, then we get the same. It is transmitted. Okay. Purushottam Prasad Prabhu.
Can I ask one more question?
Okay, Leela Madhuri Lalita Madhuri, ask your next question.
My question was, I just finished my 16 rounds, but after that I don't feel like taking my beats. But the other activities like reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam and doing all other Krishna conscious activities, yes, I'm able to do all those things. But only when it comes for chanting, especially when I'm not able to pay my attention while chanting, I don't know how to get that mode of chanting more rounds in a day. And that is what my question.
Prabhupada says that when you go on drinking wine, you become a drunkard. So when you go on chanting, you become intoxicated with the chanting. The solution, it's a common problem, very obviously experienced by all of us. The solution to that is to strenuously avoid these offenses which cause us to become averse to the proper process of chanting and to increase our chanting. That will give us an attraction. And also,
Means
when we serve devotees who have factual taste for chanting, then we will also attain the same taste. That taste is transmitted to us.
okay. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Purushottam Prasad.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, you mentioned that even the devotees, they will take 1 or 2 or 3 births. Is it like gradation wise, like a Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari? Or how to understand that?
No, he's not. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is not saying like this. He is simply saying, corresponding to whatever degree they are pure, to that degree they will attain the Lord. So if you are slowing down, then the result will be slow. You are going fast, the result will be fast. That's all.
I'm just correlating the pastimes of Bharat Maharaj and Chitraketu. They're all exalted devotees already. But in spite of that, they have taken Chitraketu become Vritasura and Bharat Maharaj become Jadabrata. So even such a great exalted personalities, there is chance of rebirth. Then what to speak of us?
It is not I think first of all, we should get rid of this idea. There is a chance we may get many births. By default, it takes many lifetimes.
Okay.
I think we are in a delusion. First of all, we have to remove that delusion. Because as long as we desire bhukti, mukti, and prema bhakti, then as long as the desire for bhukti is not gone, it will take several lifetimes.
So there is no chance of this balancing and
what is the
traveling
of balancing? You're supposed to get
that
rid
means material boat one leg and spiritual boat one leg.
That is all some temporary thing. That's all. We accept. Bhaktivinoda explains. No, we accept our material duties on a temporary basis. They are naimittika dharmas. They are not nitya dharma.
Naimittika. Okay.
Nitya dharma is only bhakti. We want to come to the point where we permanently engage in bhakti only.
Got it.
These are all temporary.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
If see the Swanishtas, the ordinary devotees who have a desire for dharmartha kama, moksha, and the prema bhakti. That means they want dharmartha kama while they are making spiritual progress. But eventually they want liberation to the Lord. They will take several lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes they will take. That is one track. These are just the ordinary devotees. Then you have the extraordinary devotees, the surrendered devotees, parinishtitas. Parinishtitas, they do not have a desire for dharmartha kama. They just want moksha. Yeah, they don't want dharmartha kama, but they want moksha and they want prema bhakti. They want liberation along with loving service to the Lord. So they require one full lifetime. But after they die, they go to the spiritual world. And then there is the, how do I say, ultra extraordinary track. Those, they don't want dharmartha kama, they don't want moksha also, they simply want loving service to the Supreme Lord, prema bhakti. This is supposed to be Lord Chaitanya's track. This is Lord Chaitanya's track. Let me make it clear. We are supposed to be in that. For this, even one lifetime is too long. It's a question of, Bhaktivinoda says, Alpadane bhavadaya. Within a few days, they attain bhava bhakti. But it is all because we have all these desires. As long as the desire exists, it is going to be slow. Even if you don't pursue the desire, if the desire exists, it is slow. So these very hankerings have to disappear from the heart, from the soul. Disappear.
Hankering for Krishna like Govinda Virahename, then that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is only possible when you don't have a desire for
desires for
Nama, Artha,
yes.
Pious credits and all that.
Fine.
Now we might imagine that we don't have it. So if we imagine things like that, then Krishna will simply take away a little bit of the things that we are hankering for, and suddenly we'll realize actually without that I cannot survive. So then, if we are courageous enough, then Krishna will reveal our status to us.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, there's a question here. Hare Krishna, please explain the aspect on obtaining Brahma and then Lord Shiva and then Lord Vishnu after 100 lifetimes. No. This is that famous verse spoken by Lord Brahma. by Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva, that one who engages in Swadharma without break for 100 lifetimes, he attains the post of Brahma. Then he attains the post of Lord Shiva, or this is not the original Lord Shiva at all. And then he can progress further and become a Vaishnava. It simply means after 100 lifetimes, he can associate with Lord Brahma. When he makes further progress, he can associate with Lord Shiva. Then when he makes full progress, he becomes fit to associate with Lord Vishnu. Can we obtain further detail in the 14 stages? Madhurya Kadambini deals with that. The entire Madhurya Kadambini deals with the 14 stages. In Nāmāśraya-bhakti, our course, we are only going to go through chapter 3 of Madhurya Kadambini, which deals with Nāmāśraya. All right, so I'll stop with that. Thank you for your patience. Leela Madhuri Lalita Mataji.
Can I ask one more question if you permit, Prabhu?
Okay.
Prabhu, we all do all other activities like even reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam, or other Krishna conscious activities to improve our chanting. So
Yes.
while reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam or even doing any other services, we also do seva aparat. So does it become an impediment for our chanting?
Yes, we will see that in Madhurya Kadambini, chapter 3. If we knowingly commit seva aparat, thinking that when I chant the holy names, the reactions to seva aparat will automatically be vanquished, so I don't need to be attentive and careful to avoid seva aparat. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says the seva aparatas are converted into nama aparatas.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Madhu. All right. Mancha Buddha Vishya, the person to be a Vacha Paditana, Pavana, Pure Vaishnava.